Good day everyone. So today our team MyBallot would like to start with our presentation. Before we start, let us introduce you to the problems that we are tackling. In this case, the problem that we are tackling will be Malaysia's voting system and e-voting. As you can see, Malaysia's voting system is very prone to identity fraud and impersonation, tampering with ballot boxes, and we are all very familiar with how Malaysians' general elections are very slow to verify and confirm the results, leading to delayed results. However, if we use e-voting, it's not perfect either because tampering can happen with the network systems because of the public Wi-Fi, and there's lack of hardware level security in our phones and PC because we are not sure how secure each and every device is. So what is the need? The need is a secure tamper-resistant voting solution that ensures authentic voters, protected votes, and faster, more transparent outcomes. Right. So this is the solution, which is MyBallot. MyBallot will tackle these problems and will lead to 4 outcomes, which is trusted voter verification, secure and encrypted vote handling, isolated tamper-resistant kiosk, and resilient uninterrupted operation, which I'll explain later on. Okay, this is the technical architecture. This is the flow chart. The voter comes to a MyBallot kiosk where their identity is verified, and later on their vote is sent to the SPRM, which we'll explain a little bit more later on. Next. Okay, identity verification. These are one of the key features of MyBallot. We'll be using AI matching, where we will use the person's national identity card, my card, and scanned, and later we will use their Face ID to make sure that it's the correct voter. So it is also biometric backed, which I mentioned, Face ID, but in the case where Face ID cannot be used, we can also use an optional fingerprint. This is a very efficient process compared to what we have traditionally, turning what could take several minutes into just a few seconds. And we can prevent duplicate identities through this process because the system saves and verifies each voter, ensuring that there's only one voter with one vote. Isolated kiosk hardware. Alright, so as we are aware with ballot boxes, it will be the similar format but in kiosk form. So each and every location will have its own kiosk, and by doing so, we are preventing people from tampering, because if they have to tamper with the kiosk itself. And that's why we'll implement each kiosk with hardening, where it has a secure mode that can prevent tampering without authorization. And we also have a local storage where all the data is encrypted, therefore it cannot be accessed by the general public or anyone without authorization. Okay, cryptographic protection. So how do we send this information back to SPRM or the main admin office? Is we will use we'll do the transmission using a protected TLS with key pinning, preventing man-in-the-middle attacks. By doing so, we are ensuring that there's end-to-end encryption and making sure that the data does not leak in the middle. Auditing and logging. So obviously each kiosk will have hashed logs. We also have recovery and a backup server to make sure that there is no tampering between anywhere, and if audit has to happen, we can make sure that every single data is backed up, verified, but at the same time ensures anonymity and it is secure. Next. Alright, operational resilience. Okay, one of the issues with using a kiosk would be power. What if we lose power? And that's why our kiosk has been enabled with backup power, where if the power runs out, it's still able to operate using the backup power for a few hours, enabling it to back up all its data and also enabling it to run fully operational while it backs up the saved data. Okay, how does MyBallot impact? Alright, by introducing MyBallot to the general public, we believe that it will increase higher voter confidence because people will trust the process more as it is transparent and easy. It also delivers a faster result because the computer does all of the calculations, SPRM does the verification, and it is easy to display the results rather than counting them one by one, and where there will be rejected ballots and recounting. Reduced fraud and errors. Since the kiosk has been hardened and it's been secured against external attacks, we can prevent tampering and manual mistakes. And it's a more efficient election. By introducing MyBallot, we believe that the entire general elections can be simplified and made more efficient and more accurate. Next. Alright, this would be the comparison between a traditional paper ballot, India's button kiosk, and MyBallot. You can check this in the slides later on. Okay, next. Okay, the methodology we use for this project is the agile method because we find that it's the best method for our use case scenario. Next. And next. Alright, so how does MyBallot come into a business model? Alright, we can sell subscription plans, monthly or annual fee based on the voting base and features required. Per election package, since election happens 5 years once, we can introduce it as a per election package. Customization and add-ons, where we can add interfaces, custom interfaces, analytics, dashboards, multi-language support, and integration with existing systems. We can also give enterprise licensing, more on this later on. Next. Alright, so let's expand on the market opportunity. There's a growing need for secure, efficient, and transparent voting solution, and that's not only for government but also for universities, corporations, community organizations. They all rely on manual voting systems, and we believe MyBallot can also benefit them too. And our market strategy will be to target these organizations, such as universities, clubs, associations, and corporate HR departments. And we will introduce this through demos, partnerships, and pilot projects where we can showcase how secure MyBallot really is and how convenient it is. Next. Alright, this is our team, me as Shamindra Ruben, Putri Nur Aisyah, Ni Ahmad Shakir, and Loganath. I'll also pass this to Prem Ishwar, our lead developer, to carry on.